the way of showing is
recorded.
Okay, so the way of showing is different, but everywhere the same information, right? Like whether it is a bug or a sprint or board or backlog.
So who is this? Dharni or Pritam?
Dharani, yeah.
Dharni, okay. Okay, so what is your question? I'll open any of the project.
Right. So we have board, sprint,
yeah,
and backlog, right?
Yes, correct.
So all these three doing the same job.
No. So that's what I told yesterday. So board belongs to each team. So these three belongs to each team. So in my project, Parts Unlimited, I will be having board for each sub team. So if you go to board, this board belongs to the team. So if I have 10 teams in my project, I will have board for my 10 teams. Same, I will have backlog for different teams, whatever the team I have in my project. Like this. So we can select right now what information this contains. So for full web, it will be having items, whatever I have selected here. I have selected like epics. I'll see all the epics belongs to my PUL web. If I select features, I will see all the features. Feature is a work item type. Same this epic was also one work item, and backlog items basically PBI and task. These called backlog item. Product backlogs. PBI is basically product backlog item. Product backlog items, but they all cause PBI or backlog items we call. In the backlog also and board also you have similar options. So you can see epics, you can see features, you can see the backlog items. Now, what is the difference between board and backlog? Board is giving you this like view, column based view, like which status your item is, where it is and all.
Correct.
It will be showing all the items belongs to your team. So if you create 1,000 items, those 1,000 will be displayed here.
Correct.
If it is PBI, it will be under backlog. If it is epic, it will be under epic. If it is a feature, and so it is showing in graphical. Like you have this column-based things. You can see better view, like whom it assigned to, what is the ID, and which status it is approved, and you can move it to different columns.
Yeah, that I got it.
Yeah. Backlogs is also similar items you will see. If you are on PBI, you will see 4 PBIs are there. If you go to board, you will see the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what. Okay, so because it's done, it won't be showed there. Yeah. So in backlogs, we see all the items which are not done, like which supposed to be picked up, like still in my list, and these needs to be done. So if any item is moved to done, that won't be shown in backlog. So if I move it back here, it will be in the backlog. Backlogs shows us the list what items needs to be done and totally. So if 5 items are there, and it's basically for prioritizing. So you can shift the priority from order like 1, 2, 3. If this item needs to be picked up first, it goes here. If it is there, it's there. So both are like a kind of similar things, similar items, but it shows like what is still needs to be done, while board shows you all the items, including done also.
Okay, so in one place like work items, if you add any PBA or bug or anything, it will be saved in board, backlogs, both, right? And even sprints also.
Correct. Yeah, so no, sprint is different. So I'll create one item,
right?
The query. So it will, and I'm just adding it. So it's new item is created, Dharni query. You can open it and can fill more details inside this if you want. Otherwise, it is there. So this item we added here, but if you go to board, you will see this there also. Dharni query.
Right.
That's new status, right? Now sprint is basically, sprint won't show you all the items. Sprint is basically because this is for your whole project life cycle. If you are gonna do it in 1 year, it will all the items which belongs to 1 year will be here. But in sprint is basically we are dividing our times in small time zones, right? Like for
Correct.
whole project, I have created 5 different sprint. So in a sprint board, I will see only items which belongs to this particular sprint. So which
Sprint
sprint
2,
is
yeah.
going on right now? Sprint 2 is going on. How it is going on?
Right.
Because sprint 2 date I have set as
That's
July 12 to August 2. Yeah. So now how this item belongs to sprint 2 and other belongs to sprint 1? Can you answer this?
in the once you open that task, right, you can give the sprint.
Where?
Can you click on 3 dots?
So this iteration field is there, right? This iteration
Right,
basically
yeah.
belongs to sprint. Yeah.
Correct.
So if you want to move this item to somewhere else, you can just change the iteration. It will be moved. So for now, it is in sprint 2. So it is there. It is showing in sprint 2. If I move the query, you can see like I don't want to do it today. I want to do it next sprint. I move it to sprint 3. So it is gone out from here,
Right.
but it is still available in backlog and boards. The query is there. In board also the query is there. But in the sprint, it is not there. And if you go to
So in
sprint
the
3, you can see this item.
okay, so in the board we can't filter with sprint, right?
No. Sprint you have separate board. Sprint
No,
you have a
in board.
separate board, right? Board, yeah.
Right.
You cannot filter as a sprint here.
Okay.
Because for sprint they have given the sprint board, then what is the meaning of using it here? Right? It's like different features for managing teams. So it's if they can see sprint here, then there's no need of this one. So the Microsoft has designed the tools in such way, like if you want to see sprint item, you go to sprint board. If you want to see the backlog item, you go to backlog board. So we call it board itself because it's a board. So this is sprint board, this is backlog
Yeah.
board, and this is
Right. So
board.
for example, Anurag, if a project manager divided 500 tasks for whole year, like 10 to 15 sprints. So in
Yeah,
boards or backlogs, we will see all the tasks, right? Like 500 tasks.
correct. Yes, everything. So there is a limit from Microsoft is like you can see some up to 1,000 items
Okay.
on the sprint board, not on the backlog. Backlog you can see anything. But sometime
Okay.
if you create more than 1,000 item in one sprint, then it gives an error. Like you should create properly, either because Microsoft knows you cannot do 1,000 tasks in one sprint. So they
Right.
have
So
given a limit,
yeah.
but then that can be increased also by doing some backend changes. But that requirement like very rarely will come.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Clear. Anurag.
Okay.
Thanks.
So anything else in board, or today we will move somewhere else?
So what is delivery plan?
Okay. So I'll show you first. So you are clear about this capacity, right?
Yes. That's I mean employees, right? Employees capacity, how much they're going to
Yes,
assign.
yes. How much capacity
Yes,
and
yes.
all that. Okay. Okay. So delivery plans actually earlier it wasn't part of this board, but recently they have added it here. Earlier it was some third-party extension which we have to install separately, and then we can use this. It's again a new tab which is like for better management of the thing. So I'll show you how that does it work. But okay. So what we have to do, we have to create a new plan. Like what do you give any name like plan A. This is for testing my requirement. Which project? So project you can select any project in whatever in your organization. I have access to both the projects. I'm able to see, but by default, because we are creating it in parts unlimited, so it is coming in. For which team you want to create? So we are doing everything in full web. So I'll select full web. And this plan you want to create for Epic, features, or PBI. Let's say I want to create it in PBI. So I'll show you what is that now. So I'm creating a new plan, and it will be showing me the difference items which are basically going by the sprint wise. So it is just an expansion view where it shows like, okay, this item in sprint 2 I have these items and those belongs from this state to this state. What all our items are in sprint 3? You can see all your sprints. If you scroll right, you can see all the sprints and how many items. So it's a kind of a board for sprint, which you are asking, right? Like in board, how do I see sprints? So you can see this thing over here. And if you want to do any expense, and will you see like, okay, this item, this PBI, which belongs to sprint 2, and you expand this like this. So this item belongs to both the, so technically it is in sprint 2. If you open this, it is sprint 2, but what happened, like you can feel like, okay, this item we started in sprint 2 but it's not completed, and you are not moving it to sprint 3. But here you can see, okay, this was started in sprint 2 but it is spillover, it wasn't completed, and it extended up to sprint 3 also. So it's like a next kind of view or better management, like what all task has been like spill over from one sprint to another, what happened to those. So you can do all these things in this. So it's again too. So like delivery plan, there are other 100 extensions are there in the market, which we can install. I can do some different management things. So these ones provided by Microsoft, like board, backlog, spreads, which are like must needed for everything. Queries also. Delivery plans earlier wasn't a part, but like many teams or many users have requested, like it should come as an internal, not an external. So Microsoft had included it recently. Earlier it wasn't there. So earlier, like what we were doing basically, if any other task or something we need to install, we have to go to the marketplace, which is like app store, like Android app store. We have same way we have app store for our Azure DevOps extension. So just click on this shopping cart, browse marketplace. It will take us to this marketplace, basically that, and you can install anything which you feels like, okay, I need this. So if you want to install something related, so it has extension for each of the topic. It has for board, it has for repo, pipeline, test plan, different extensions. So if I want to install anything for my board, let's say I know one extension already. Perspective. And we install it into my organization. So it will be installed for all the projects in the organization. It is not like per project basis. So in my organization, I have 2 projects. This will be installed for both the projects. I'll show you how does it look like that. It is asking which organization you want to install. I'm installing it here. It's all set. I'll refresh my page. Go to the project and go to the boards. You will see new tab called retrospective. It's coming from that extension, and then using this we can do something extra. So this is not like something which you should know already. What is that? If some requirements come from any user, you go to that extension page, you understand what is that, they will explain you what this feature, what this tool does and all. So here you can read what this tool does, and based on your assessment you can install. Because we are the DevOps engineer, we have to assess it, like what feature it provides and does it suit to the themes or not, and then we can install. We need to test like features, we need to test the performance. So if you see this delivery plans, if we click, it works immediately. But if we click on retrospective, It is very slow because this is coming from Microsoft. It is like it has the performance like anything else, but this third-party tools like will always give some problems like this. So we need to assess all these aspects when we install anything from outside, because now we install, you see this is coming in this project and it will come into this project also. So it will be, and then user will start using, they will say, oh, what is this? It's very slow. Why it's not working? And they don't know this is extension and all. They will think like it is something which we are providing. So we need to make sure when we install any new thing, we should test it is somewhere in our personal organization or somewhere like, okay, this works fine. What feature it provides? Is it really useful or what? Because there are 1,000, we cannot install everything. So we need to understand everything about the extension. So if you read about it here, it will tell us, okay, this will do this and all. So based on that, we can install and uninstall. So delivery plans was also like some extension earlier, but later on they involved it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Anurag.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So now today we will move for the repo. Okay. Uh, so what is repo? You know, and anybody already know about this version control system and or something? Little bit anything you have heard about source control, version control, file versioning, anything?
So repo, I have an idea. Like I used to work on Bitbucket.
Uh-huh.
We're doing commits and branches,
Yeah,
pushes
and
and
it
all. I mean,
for what purpose we
yeah,
use it?
GitHub.
Yeah, no, for what purpose we use? Yeah.
I mean, just for my learning purpose, I went to this
No, no,
GitHub
not
and
no,
Bitbucket and checked.
no, not for you. Like
Okay.
normally, if I'm asking you, we should use source control. So what purpose we use it? Like it is a board or it is something like what is this?
It's a code. I mean, where you
Uh-huh.
want to store your code, right?
Correct, correct. Yeah, that's correct.
So
So
I
what
think
happened? Like, yeah.
I know a little bit of version control. I'm not sure if I'm correct, but
Mhm.
so I've discussed with my cousin. He was like, version control is like rolling back to the original version, or if you have any bugs. Is that something
Hmm.
related?
Yeah, kind of. So what happened? Like when uh, we are working on a software project, right? And software project will have development. That means we are writing some code, and let's say we are developing any application called some calculator, and you are working, I'm working, all we five are working, and we all have a different software laptop, and we want to work on some coding code, some code file where you are writing your code, I'm writing my code. Then how do you see like what I'm doing? How do I know what are you doing? We need somewhere some system where we can share all the files with the team members, right? So and if I'm doing some change, I'll put my file somewhere, so you can also go there and you can see this. And same way, if you are doing something, you do your work, you put it somewhere, and then I'll open to see like what you have done, and then we merge all the files together, because software is not like one file, there are 1,000 files, so all files has to be in one package, then only we can generate or compile the solution and get our software working. So the somewhere is basically where we keep our files or share with our team members. That is basically we call as a source control tool, where the source control tool basically provide us features for sharing the files between the team members. Not only sharing, after sharing, like if today you have made some changes into one file, and tomorrow you've done some other changes. After 5 days, you see, oh, I have done something wrong, or the same file, Anirudh had done something wrong. How do you see like what who has done and when he has done? So that provides us the version history also. So whatever we make changes we make, source control tools record the history. It shows us, okay, this date this person has made these changes. So you can like go to the back history and see like, okay, this one is done by this guy. And if you want to roll back to the previous one because the current one has some challenges or it's not correct, you can anytime roll back to the previous versions. So you are maintaining the history of whatever the changes we are making into files. So these are the two main features any source control tools provide, like sharing the files between the team members or with anyone, and maintaining the version history. So source control tool is not one so there are like many types of source control tool in the market which have like different way of working, but any in the end all has same concept, like they have to provide the source control features. So the most popular is these days is GitHub and Git. So the most popular is basically the GitHub or Bitbucket, which Dharnesh telling, and SVN, CVS. There are a lot of. But in our Azure DevOps, there are two types of repositories, two source control tools which Azure DevOps support, and teams can use any of those. It's up to them, and they can share it with the teams. We will be talking about both the source control tools, and if we talk about Git, this Git works same way, like the because so it's not only Azure DevOps. GitHub is like separate tool, but because it is quite popular, very popular, 99% teams are using GitHub. So Azure, Microsoft has to include it into their system, so that teams opt for their tool. So they included it inside Azure DevOps. So once we learn this one, we are learning actually the Git, how the Git works. So there are two types, one called TFVC, which is Team Foundation Server Version Control. Earlier, Azure DevOps name was TFS. So their version control tool is TFS VC, Team Foundation Server Version Control tool, and other one is the Azure Git, which is a Git server where we can keep our source code. So if you go to this repo, we can see repo. Here, if we click, we can see how many repositories are there in my project. So one repository is created by default when we create the new project, and we can create multiple repo. We can create multiple Git repository, but we can create only one TFS repository. So I'll show you how this TFS looks like. Today we will talk about TFS version control. We'll go a little faster about this because it will be not being used later on. But Git will take some time, so we'll be taking Git slowly into 2 days at least, and we'll be understanding how does it work. So I'll making so because we created a project, it created a Git repo by default. It doesn't have a TFS repo for now. I'll be creating a new TFS repo by clicking on new repository. See repository type either Git or TFVC. So Git we can create n number of, one is already existing. We can create more. For now, I'm going for TFVC. And the TFVC we cannot give any name. It's by default comes with the dollar and project name, so just create it. And here we have got one more repo. So if you filter, you see two now. This icon belongs to Git, and this belongs to TFVC. So we'll be opening this, and there's no file as of now. It's completely empty. So I'll add one file. I'll create a new file over here. Test. So this file is added. I'll add some comment. Test code written by me. Check in. So what is check in? I'll tell you again. I'm just checking one example for now. Now this one is in the system. You can see this, and you can see like content. What is the content of this file? History. You see who made changes. It will show Anurag Jain had added some change, and when it is just now. And what changes we can see in this more detail. What changes? Like he written this. If you have multiple versions of any file, you can compare. So like this, we can create our Git the TF repo. So now mostly when developer works, they work with the the software development tool. They don't work in the browser, like they cannot create or write code in the browser. They have to work actually in some IDE. IDE basically integrated development environment. It's a separate tool which is for development. So if you know already the name, Visual Studio is a tool from Microsoft which is for development. Eclipse basically is a open source which is like you mostly used by the Java developers. So I'll be showing example by taking our Visual Studio, and I'll show you how to work in the TFVC when we have a Visual Studio. So I'm not sure you guys already have Visual Studio installed. If you have all personal laptops, right?
Yes, Amrit.
Yes, Anurag.
Yeah. Okay. For now, I'll be showing on my machine. Basically, Visual Studio need a license, but it is free for I think for initial 1 month. So we are okay if we get 1 month of free subscription. So I'll share you guys the link, and then you need to download and install it. So you can also like do some POC or some your hands-on experience if you want to do with the repositories. Other things we can do without any other extension or tool, but repository basically about coding. So we need some tool or and anyhow, like in real project also developers will be working on Visual Studio mostly if they're using Azure DevOps. So we should know how this Visual Studio, how do we connect Visual Studio tool with our Azure DevOps, how do we see this project, and how to use those features. Okay, so I'll open. I'm sharing my screen. So what is Visual Studio? It's a tool which is installed in my machine. I'll open this one. It will open like this. So we don't need to worry about writing code and all, but we should know how this repository feature works. Okay. So now this is Visual Studio. How does it looks like? Developers mostly works with file, they add their code and all. For us, first step is to connect to our Azure DevOps. So this team tab is basically which provide features from Visual Studio. It's some separate tool installed on my machine. It doesn't know what is Azure DevOps. It doesn't know which connection, what my organization and all. So we have to tell it where you have to get connected. So you remember these steps, and tomorrow when you install this, you have to do the same thing. So we click on the team. You see this manage connection option. We click on manage connection, and you are seeing all these things because I'm connecting already to different repository. But for now, after connecting, you click on this manage connections again and connect to team project. This will open there. Now we need to provide our organization URL. So click on servers, click on add, and we need to give the URL here of our repository or organization. So I'm giving my organization name is this one. So this is the URL we have to give there, and it will ask for credentials to connect. So we will have to provide the credentials. Okay. So same credential which we use to log in to the browser, we need to use here. Okay, because I have logged in through some other account, it's giving me that issue. Nice. So now it is connected. And after connection, I'll just close it. It will list out my organization and all the projects. So you see this organization has 2 projects and it's asking like which project you want to work. So I'm selecting this one. Later on, if I want to connect this one also, I'll be able to connect. So just connect it. So now that project is open. Same project is opened in Visual Studio as well. We will see the same work item list over here. So this query which we created yesterday on Rock PBI and all, if you run this here, it will give the list. Okay, we created this new PBI and the development tire size, all these things we created. So everything is now can be accessed from Visual Studio. So to access Azure DevOps, we have 2 client services, whether we use browser, any browser, maybe Chrome or Internet Explorer or whatever, or we have this Visual Studio option also. So mostly because everything can be done from browser, so team doesn't use this because license thing. But if a developer or some companies are working, then they will provide this tool for us. So we can do the same thing from here. And you will see all these options when we connect on the home page, like work items, and then mostly other things related to. This is for pipeline, and this is for coding. Okay. So it is showing our Git repo here. If you see my Git repo name is in this project, my Git repo name is basically this is my Git repo with the same name, Max Assessment. So it is connecting to this one. This is connecting. Now we need to connect to our TFBC. Which project? Okay. So in Parts Unlimited, we do not have the TFBC exists. That's why it's not showing. I'll create TFBC from here. Repository, new repo, select TFBC and create. Now it will be displayed over there. I'll refresh this and click on this. It should come here. Something is happening. It came. So now it lists both. So I'll just double click on this. So for Git repo, there is a different option, but for TFBC, there are different options. So for now, you forget about how did Git repo looks like. You just concentrate on TFBC. So when I'm connecting, so how do we connect? Just click on this button, manage connections, connect to team project. And if we are already connecting to organization, that's fine. It will list out all the projects. If you want to connect to some different organization, we need to give it to server, add, give the URL, and then provide credentials. Once you are done, you don't need to provide credential again and again. One time you added, always you open Visual Studio, you will see the same thing. So I'm selecting parts unlimited, connecting to this. And after connecting, we see this option like which repo you want to connect. So I'm connecting to. So this URL, this icon is basically for TFVC. I'm connecting to this. Now, how do we work on TFVC here? Is basically we just source control. So VC means version control or source control. So the source control will contains everything. So we just double click on this. It will be open on here. So for parts unlimited, we don't have any file added. So if we want to add some file from here, I'll add one file. First file, create, check in. Now the same file will be displayed there also. I just need to refresh it. So this file came in over here. Okay, now I'll show you different options. If you see, these all are options available, and each option has some uses. And the uses basically is like how this TFVC works. Okay, so first option is get latest version. That means this code is in the repository of Azure, and to work on this, I need to download it into my local system. So how do I do this? For that, I need to download it. Download means this first option said that get latest version. So whatever the latest version is available of this file, I want this to be downloaded. So if you click on this one, it will open this window. That means you're downloading something from here, but where do you want to download in your local? So we need to provide some local folder for this that we call as mapping. Like we are mapping the source control or this remote location to our local folder. So I need to give some path. So let's say I'm giving C drive and same project name. You can give anything, but for better understanding, I always use same folder. So it will create a folder with this name, and that's all. So it's map, and it will download this file on my local system. So now this file is available in my local. If you click on this, you will see this is downloaded. So here this file comes. So this parts unlimited folder created. This file is get downloaded here. This we call gets latest version. So if I make suppose this is not me, this is Anirudh working on browser. He had added some changes in this. So edit, he had put some Anirudh changes, and the check-in is code. Check-in means he is putting his code into the repository. Like okay, I'm fine. I'm just putting it, and he had given. Now this file has some changes while my local file doesn't know what has happened over there. So what I have to do, I have to again take the latest so that it will download whatever the changes has been done. So if you refresh, it will show you like your latest is not latest. So you down right click. So if you open this file in your local for now, it shows like empty because we have not downloaded the latest. So this file, first file has nothing is there as of now. So to download the latest change from the repository, what you have to do, get latest version. If you do this, the latest change will be downloaded. I'll open that file again. And this displayed over here. So whatever was there in central repository, or some other user is making any changes, so I know. How do we see this? Just right click on this, view history. It will show us first Anurag then added this file newly on this time, this date. Then he added something. What something that if you want, you are interested to check this, like what he has done, is just double click on this. It will show us what changes he had made. So he had added this line over there. So like this, this get latest works. Okay. Now, second option is check out for edit. So for now, like we are seeing only one file. Let me add a few more, and then it will be more fruitful. I'll add some these two folders here. I'll show you adding also, but for now I'm just adding for myself. Okay. So I have added some files and folders here, and now these all are listed inside my project. And now I have done changes from Visual Studio. Those also will be reflected in this. If I refresh, I'll see these files over there. See, this everything came here. So that's why we call it version control. We are sharing files between the team members. If you also open this URL, you will also see this. And if you are making any changes, I just need to download and I will be able to see the latest changes. That way we are sharing the files between the team members. This is like one of the main feature of version control tool, any version control tool. Second thing, history, we can see who made what changes. Okay, so I'll show you next one. I'm working on this file for now. So if you right click on this, you will see one more thing. It's called checkout for edit. That means this file is there. You want to work on this. You want to edit something. So first you have to check out this. So it will be marked as like you are editing this. Checkout for edit. Checkout. So here you will see all the users will see the same thing. Like Anurag Jain had checked out this and he's modifying this. So if you refresh here, you will see the same thing. Okay, in browser it doesn't show the same thing, but in Visual Studio it will be showing. Now, if I want to edit something, I'll open this file and changes made for editing, and then I'll save it. It is not, I just saved it. So that means it is still in my system. If I want to push it to the repository, I need to check in again. So I'll check in this one. So whatever the changes I have made, it will be reflected into the repository level. Give some comment if you want to do like why you made this change. Change for demo and check in. So this is checked in, and if you refresh here, you will see this updated file. So that's how we do checkout check-in. Check out when you are editing some file, check in when you are done with your code changes and you push it to the repository. Those are like two features, check out or not checking out. And once you make any changes, you can do a check-in. So for now, I have not checked out, so I don't see this option for check-in. Fourth thing is delete. If you want some files to remove from the system, we can just delete it. Delete. I'm not deleting this. I'm doing some testing. So okay, I have deleted it, but I have not pushed it till now. So it is not reflecting on server level or for other users. This is still available. If you want to make this available for others, I need to do the check-in. That means my commit should be check-in. But if you feel you have done something mistake and before check-in you realize that and you want to undo your changes, so we can do undo pending changes. So if I do undo, this file will be undeleted. So it again came without anything. So I'll delete some other file. I'll open this folder and I'll delete this one. Delete. And then check in. So deleted. So this file will be deleted from here. And you want to verify, you can verify scripts. Only 3 are there, 4th is gone. That way we can do delete. If you want to rename some simple option, just rename, and you can rename this file new. This will be renamed. Again, after rename, to make it on the server level, we have to check in. So whatever change we make, we have to check in after that. If you feel no, you are done by mistake, you can undo. Otherwise, you check in. So I'm doing undo for now. Move. If you want move, let's say this file on this level. If you want this files to be moved under a script, it won't go like this. We have to move it like move, and just select OK. From there, this is your server path, like dollar $tfbc, start with dollar and then project name and then folder name. So from this project folder, where do you want to move? If you want, you can move it to some different project also. So if I want, I can move it into max assessment. So you browse, you can select max assessment and move it there. So this file will be moved into different project. So it is saying source control folder is not mapped to local folder. That means whatever operation we are doing here, before that, this has to move to the local drive. So this project is mapped to the local drive, but if you go there, this project is not mapped to the local drive. So we cannot do anything. First, we have to map it. That means we are giving some local. So all the operation will happen on the local and then it goes to the server. So I'll map this project also, cmax, and we'll give again the project name, map it. Once it is mapped, I can move this file now easily. So right click, move where I want to move it into this project, this location, and it's gone. So it's gone from here and it is available here. So it is it's showing for me, but on the system level, it is still reflecting the older scenario. The first file is still here. That means I need to make the check-in. Check-in, and now this file is part of this project. And if you refresh this will be gone. Yeah. I'm moving it back to my project. Move from this to this. Check in again. Check. Okay, so this was the move option. Rollback. So rollback is like I will show you the history and then this rollback will work. So if you click on view history, you will see how many changes have been made into this file. So there are, I'll make few more changes first. Save it, check in. So whenever I check in, it makes a history in the system. I'll make one more change. I'll check out for edit. Open this. Save this. Check in. Okay, now we made two different changes. If you now right click view history, you will see this one, this change I just made, which is basically shows this data. If you open this one, it will show you this data. If you open this one, it will show you the one line only. So one time you realized after some time, oh, I have made the same mistake. I want to roll back to this one. I don't want anything else happen after this. So simply just right click on this and roll back entire change set or get. So we just click on this roll back. It will be rolling back whatever the changes we have made into this one, and then check in. So in that particular change set, what we have done, we have moved file from here to there. So that change set has been rolled back and the file has gone to this system, this project. So that way, if we want some time, where do we want to go, we can roll back. So I'm moving it back. Yeah. So rollback is the undo pending change I showed. Like if you don't want to make the changes to be happened in the central repository, just undo. Check in also is basically when we are finalizing our changes. Shell we will leave it for now. It won't be. If you want, I can give idea, but it won't be useful and it will be confusing you. So leave it. View history is just to show the history, like whatever the changes we have made. Compare, if you want to compare two different files, you just select it and give like which two files you want to compare. So if you want to compare parts unlimited folder with this max and compressor, it will show you like difference, what the difference in both the projects. It will show like this project these many files, this project has this many files, and if you want to compare any two different files, you can compare that. Or if you want to compare the different versions of any file, so just click on view history, select two different versions, right click compare. It will show like what was there in that version and what was there in that version. So in this version, okay, there was no difference. I'll open some two difference one. Let's compare this. So you see this version I added this one, while previous version there was nothing. So if you want to compare different things, compare tools helps us. If you want to create a new folder here, we can create a new folder here, or either we can add from local directory. Yeah, so this one is add items to folder. So always it's not like developer comes here, create new files or new project here. What they do basically, they create the project in Visual Studio Development and then push it into the repository because they don't create. So how does it work basically? So this my path is mapped. So whatever I'll put over here, it will be displayed in the system because mapped. So let's say this is my code folder. So it's a small one of this. Just looking for some useful things. Okay, so this. Okay, and where is my repository? So I'll go to this and I have my code here. I copy paste this into my mapped folder. Oh, it's very big. Sorry, so I got some other folder. Let me. So this is actually a project, which basically a Visual Studio project, and it has some code and all. So let's say this is my code I want to copy into that. So I'll copy this from my local to this map folder, which is this, and paste it over there. Okay, now let me. I don't want to upload everything. I delete few files before I upload into the TFS. Reduce the size a little bit. Okay. So what I have to do now, I'll go there. Now new folder is available in my this directory, so I can add that to the source code. So right click, add items to folder, because those are the new items for source code. So add items to the folder. Just right click and select. So it will show all the items which are available in my local directory. So all these folders are there. I want to upload code review policy. So select this, click on next. It will show like these are the files inside that folder. Do you want to upload everything? Select yes, finish, and check it. Now my project is actually uploaded to this project or the source code. I can open this, I can see my code files, and if I want, or any other team members of my team, he will also see the same. We can also edit those my project files, code file, and blah blah. So like this, and so these are the code files and all, and developers can work. So same file, if you go there, you will see this will be there also. Yeah, this one is came here also. And you can work from here, you can work from there, you can work from any other computer, whatever, you can work from anywhere. So this is called add items to the folder. Now the concept comes of branching and merging. So branching and merging, are you okay today or we'll continue tomorrow? Not tomorrow, Monday.
We'll see on Monday. It's already.
Yeah, I think it will be too much for you guys then. Yeah.
We have to go through the video again.
No, I don't
Yes,
have
go through the video, and I'll share you the one link where you can install the Visual Studio. And then after installing the Visual Studio, you have to do the same steps of connecting. If you come to know like how to connect and little bit, so you have to create one TFS repo, TFS VC also in your project, connect to this and do something like little bit. If you get understanding, you watch out the video again, you will see how this works. And then Monday we will be continuing from here. Okay. I'll share that link of downloading the free version of Visual Studio.
Fine, Anurag. Yeah.
I'll be sharing in this chat. Wait. So I'm sharing one link. So the Visual Studio, which is in my machine, is quite older version. I'm sharing the latest one. You will see a little bit difference in the UI, but almost the themes and everything will be kind of similar. So let me know if you all can open this URL.
Yeah, I'm able to open it.
Okay, so you see this community version over there on the top, community.
Yes, I see that.
Yeah, so you install, it's lifetime free, is for
Okay.
learning purpose only. So you download and install it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine then. So Monday, I want everyone to be ready with this, and at least they are connected to their organization and connected to their, and every project has some TFBC created, and some check in check out has happened. So if we do that, that will be really helpful, and we can proceed further then. All right.
Yeah.
Sure,
And
Amber.
can you share the meeting link? I mean, the recording links.
I didn't record. Who was recording it? Tarni, is you recording today?
No, I think Raghu is recording. Raghu.
Raghu is not. Raghu?
Yeah.
Hello, Raghu. Hello. I think he's not listening to us. So let me ping him and
Where am I here?
WhatsApp.
Where?
So Anurag, in this, while we are
He's not picking up the call.
installing this Visual Studio installer, right? It shows need to choose what to install: ASP.NET, Azure Development, Python Development, Node. So we'll select Azure
Yeah,
Development.
no, you select ASP.NET.
Okay, just ASP.NET is enough.
ASP.NET. Yeah, enough. Yes.
Thanks.
Okay, so not sure. Can it be like if we disconnect, will it be available with Raghu or what happened? I never recorded any session.
Now, once you end the meeting, it will be saved in his laptop, in his system, automatically.
Okay, then it's fine, right? Yeah, then it's fine. Okay, then fine, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When he
thanks.
sees this, I'll ask him to share it. Yeah. Fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.